What is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new Dragon Ball Legends video, Dragon Ball Central. Today, we're going to be talking about my first matches in the Dragon Ball Legends YouTuber Tournament of Power. Let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, guys. So first and foremost, I think it's important to talk about the actual teams. We're going to be having the gameplay off to the side here so you guys can see everything that went down. But first off, my team was basically under the assumption that he was going to be not running Super Vegito, but running a team that countered Super Vegito in some way. ZVG, if you guys don't know Zero here, he's a ridiculously good player. We've fought a couple times before. He's stomped me a few times, and yeah, I figured we were gonna get absolutely stomped going into this matchup, and obviously I didn't get totally stomped out like, you know, before, but I still I did not do amazingly, especially in this first match. So yeah, as you guys can see, I went for a team that would cover all of my bases. Obviously, I wanted to use Super Vegito, take full advantage of the ridiculous power that he does have. And on top of that, I wanted to make sure that whatever yellow he did end up using, which again, I assumed was probably going to be Perfect Cell, but could very well have also been GT Vegeta, which is a really solid counter to Vegito as well. It could have been either one, so I wanted to make sure I had a solid extreme that was red to go ahead and cover all my bases here, so I could immediately switch into him whenever, you know, he was threatening Vegito. So basically, that's what I brought, was base form Vegeta here to go ahead and fill that role. Did it work out? As you guys are seeing right now, it worked out okay. You know, could it have gone better? Absolutely. Is it mainly my gameplay issues that made me lose this particular match? Probably. But yeah, my third obvious was going to be the best hero in the game, Shallot. There are other things that are actually, you know, viable, I guess, with different teams. But in this case, in particular, Shallot's a really amazing option. Getting the extra HP, especially on a Super Vegito team, is very valuable because you can tank a couple more hits, and then that can in turn give you enough buffs and enough HP wiggle room to go ahead and, you know, have a ridiculously buffed Super Vegito just taking out the rest of the enemy team. And it's a very real possibility that you can get that enabled, you know, get 5 or 6 buffs at one time on Super Vegito and then be able to just literally wipe the enemy team, especially if they're running a green character in addition to the yellow character, because that really means that you're going to be able to basically 1 or 2 hit the green character, and then the yellow character is going to be left over, possibly also the hero. We don't really know what the rotation is going to be like before we get into these matches, so you kind of just have to guess, you know, what the composition of the enemy team is going to be, and I think I guessed it pretty well. Again, bringing a purple to counter the green, and then a red to counter the yellow, and then going neutral on the Shallot versus Shallot matchup. I do think I did a pretty good job when it came to just building the team. Now, when it came to playing the team, that leaves a little bit to be desired. So guys, actually right off the bat, I was feeling really good about how I was playing. You know, I felt like I was in the lead. Taking Shallot down very low was nice. Would have liked to have gotten that kill. Unfortunately, didn't happen. And moving on in the match, you just see things start to slowly fall apart. Huge combo against Super Vegito, took a lot of damage. A huge combo against base Vegeta, took a lot of damage, went down extremely low. Had to bring in Shallot for obvious reasons, and that just did not work out too well. We got the first KO of the match, but there was still so much HP left on 17 and on Perfect Cell that it was really just an uphill battle, even though it was 3v2, because I had so little HP. And Shallot goes down and immediately wanted to switch back into Super Vegito. Got the Rising Rush. Unfortunately, it was a guessed Rising Rush, so 17 did end up surviving. And that, all in all, probably was the last little bit of chance that I had getting absolutely decimated, because if I would have been able to switch into base form Vegeta after taking out 17, then we very well could have seen a different outcome for this first match. It very well could have gone a different way. I do think, again, that I played pretty well. There were some major issues, some major, you know, misplays that I did at points during this. I actually got mad literally after making some of these mistakes immediately, like on camera. So yeah, definitely I knew I was doing things wrong when I did the things wrong, you know, and when I made mistakes. It was very obvious. You know, you guys are watching it right now. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So basically, that was the first match. It was fun. You know, again, props to ZVG for being an awesome player and absolutely just, first off, you know, taking I guess, a significant amount of damage and not getting discouraged or tilted off of that and just really coming back and just knocking me down, knocking me out. And then, you know, again, the guess on the Rising Rush really just destroyed any chance that I had left. So, guys, I sort of assumed that we were going to see a bit of a counterplay for the first matchup. That didn't exactly happen. That would mean that Perfect Cell would most likely be coming in for the first member of the team, despite having the sort of cover change invincibility move that just shuts off combos. That's going to be a very valuable thing moving forward in this tournament, I think. That Perfect Cell invincibility is just very, very powerful. The utility on that is incredible, especially against a meta that really does favor the Fusion team. So just a little bit of a shout out to ZVG for picking up on that without having any idea of what the meta was going to shake out like. But with that said, guys, I wanted to go ahead and start off with what would be favored in a rotation up against 17. So obviously started out Super Vegito, even though optimally probably not the best idea as far as, again, taking advantage of those cover change abilities. You really want to be able to do that. So it was a little bit of a trade-off, but I wanted to get that first combo with Super Vegito and try to deal as much damage as physically possible. As you guys are seeing right now, that did not happen at all. So, yeah, starting off, we got comboed off on a little tiny bit. Did not do much damage, but did enough. And then we got the second combo, and we did a lot of damage to Shallot. It was really, really nice, dude. I was thinking, okay, we got this in the bag, boys. We are ready to roll. This is fantastic. And then, guys, something bad happened. As you guys can see, things started to go off the rails a little bit. Shallot took quite a bit of damage, and we were not feeling that, dude. I was not too happy with Shallot taking that much damage. Obviously, there wasn't much that I could have done about that other than go for the switch and then possibly set up a free Rising Rush. But I was waiting it out, and then immediately, dude, immediately after I switched Shallot out into the Super Vegito, I'm like, wait a second, he's got Rising Rush. Oh, no. And it just dawned on me. I was going to lose Super Vegito, and there's nothing that I could do to stop it. There's no way I'm going to guess the Rising Rush. I was like angry. I was so mad at myself for switching against Super Vegito at that moment. No matter what, that was the worst decision I could have made. And I switched him in. Didn't shut down a combo by, you know, using his counter ability on switch in, on cover change. And he threw down the Rising Rush. It took out Super Vegito. And just like that, guys, everything was falling apart right in front of my eyes. I was going straight into that loser's bracket. We put up a fight, okay? I tried my best, all right? We got comboed off on a little bit with base form Vegito. Went down to extremely low HP. Switched back into Shallot. Shallot got taken out. I think that was obviously going to happen. Shallot's basically just a little bit of a damage buff, as well as a crit rate buff on Super Saiyan 2 characters, which is really, really interesting. That's something that I think may or may not come into play in the future. We'll have to see. But yeah, so basically, he was able to just take out base form Vegeta after that, and that was pretty much it. 2-0 victory to ZVG. Again, an incredible, incredible player. Fantastic job, and mad props to him for even though, you know, I tried to counter his specific team because I knew he wasn't going to run Super Vegito. I knew it, dude. I had a freaking, like, vision in my head of him running a team that was going to counter a Super Vegito-based buff team. So my idea was to go into it with a team that would have all my bases covered. And as you guys saw, again, we had a partial rotation. Not a full rotation because of Shallot, but a partial rotation. And that's really, really good, especially if you can get it from the beginning from what character you choose right off the start of the match. So it was something that really was setting us up to do very well, and still we got absolutely decimated. So again, props to him. Definitely check out his point of view of the match and follow him on YouTube. Go ahead and click the sub button on him because he puts out some really great stuff. And then on top of that, he's going to be putting out some more matches moving forward into the winner's bracket. Rooting for you, my dude. But we're heading down to loser's bracket next week, guys, so we'll have to see how that goes down. By the way, if you do want to see more content from this tournament, I can do coverage of, like, other matches that happened. You know, obviously, a lot of you guys are following a lot of those YouTubers that are covering it right now, but you probably aren't following all of them. And in that case, I would like to go ahead and do, like, a top 5 matches of the week, or, you know, point out really crazy comebacks or things like that. So if you're interested in that, please let me know down in the comments below. But yeah, guys, that is going to be about it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. As always, hope you have a fantastic day. Let me know what you thought of today's video down in the comments section below. I will see you in the next one. Till then, peace.